Hey there friends, Nibs again. Kind of a dreary, overcast, miserable day here in upstate New York. So don't look like I'm going to make it out to the range today. But this is one I've been wanting to kind of do for a little while, and I just haven't taken the time to get everything out and get it all ready to go. So, but anybody who's been kind of watching my channel or watching my Facebook group kind of knows that not only do I like old .22 rifles or old guns in general, but I kind of geek out to older optics. And I'm going to kind of make this a two-part. I've got a bunch of, well, I say a bunch, I think I have 7 or 8 of what they call the long tubes, or the high-end target rifles, and I'll do a separate video on those. But what I wanted to kind of focus on today, and I love these ones too, I'm not saying they're any less or more or whatever, they're obviously less expensive, but what I wanted to focus on today is kind of the more sporting, the vintage sporting type of scopes that were available, and I have some that go all the way back to like the 20s, and then I kind of cut it off at probably in the 70s, I think, is at least what I have out here on the table. So what I do have out here is kind of my overflow, really. It's a collection, but I probably have more mounted on rifles than I actually do have out here on the table too. So we're not going to see every single optic that may or may not be available from that time frame. I do have a pretty comprehensive collection if we were to take all the ones off the rifles and try to show you those as well, but that would be way too long of a video, and you know, I like to keep mine 10, 12, 15 minutes, whatever. People's attention span starts to wane pretty quick after that. I know mine does. So let me I'll take you down to the tabletop real quick and just give you kind of a little rundown here. And I'll kind of, some of them I won't go into great detail on, but I'll try to touch on most of what I have out here. So from here over to here is various Weaver. Let's say I have a K2.5, a 3, several 4s. I think that's a 6. And a couple of 8 powers. One's it does have a adjustable objective on it, and then I do have a Weaver V8, which is actually a variable power. I think it's one of their very first variable power scopes, but it also has external adjustment rings on it. I'll show you that a little bit closer. See over here, these are kind of some low-end scopes. But you know, mostly store brands. I do have a vintage Simmons, but that one is got Japanese glass in it. It's actually a very nice little scope. It's a little 4x32. Back over here, a couple more kind of store brand ones. I got a Casnar. That one is actually I think was the Kmart brand of scope. But this one here is actually a very nice scope. This one is made by Stiff Kollmorgen, and they were out of Massachusetts and out of Brooklyn. This particular one was made in Massachusetts, but this is an extremely nice scope. If you can ever find one of those, they actually made optics for the military, and they carried that quality over into their sporting scopes. See, these couple over here in the back are very similar. So here's a little bit of trivia for you. So I have 2 scopes here. They are, for all intents, identical in every way, shape, and form. The top one is a Bushnell Scope Master 2.5, and the bottom one is a Bushnell Scope Chief. So the Scope Master is the older of the two. Bushnell started importing scopes and selling them in the United States in 1952, and this is the original first scope that they brought in, a Scope Master 2.5. For whatever reason, I haven't been able to find a reason, in 1953 they changed the model line name to Scope Chief, and it went through like the 80s. I also do have another one very similar, little different design, pretty much laid out the same though, and that one is a Bushnell banner. So those are pretty cool. Let's see over here. This little group right here are all old Weaver, or not Weaver, Mossberg scopes. They're mostly the M4 model. So the M4 had various, it had M4A, M4B, had various different types of adjustments depending on the this one is the M4D, and you can see the difference in the two adjustment ability. This one needed a penny or a dime or a screwdriver or something. This one you could, M4B, the older one, you could do by hand. Here's a very interesting one, and this is one I'm just looking for another rifle to put it on, but this is a Mossberg number 6 scope and mount. And this one is externally adjusted, and it has a side mount bracket that actually mounts on the just typical Mossberg drill pattern on the rifles that they had done for decades, from the 30s all the way up to the probably 50s or 60s. But so that one, I have 3 or 4 of these already mounted on other rifles, and they're very cool. And surprisingly enough, they hold their zero really well. So let's see, now this little group over here, they're various models, but they are all Weaver 3/4 inch scopes. This one is a Weaver B6. So they had B's and D's were predominantly, let's see, I think this little one's a, so this is a Weaver 34 Medalist. That's a newer one. I think I got a D here somewhere. Another B6. Is this one a D? That's a B4. I know I got a D somewhere around here, but this is a G6, so G's were even older. It's kind of weird they would start with G and then work their way back, but so these 3/4 inch tubes can be very nice. You know, they're not made for right at dusk and dawn shooting. They don't have the light gathering capacity of most of your 1 inch tubes. You're going to have more light gathering capacity than a 3/4 inch tube, just by, you know, sheer physics of the whole deal. Let's see what else we have here. So back here in the back here, I have a couple of these. These are the model, and I don't know who made these, but they're actually they just say Ranger on them is the only markings that I was able to find, and get that focus there. But these are pretty cool scopes. They have a similar mounting style to the bigger Target model scopes. At least this one does. This one has the external adjustment, very much like a Litschert or a Nerdle or something like that, a Fecker. This one is very interesting. It's also externally adjusted, but it's done right there in the base. So you mount this piece on the gun, and then this is your windage, and this is your elevation adjustment. So alrighty, so what else do we have? So I started talking about the weavers. I didn't get into them too much, but a couple of interesting ones that I do have. So this is a K3W, and it's got the wide view objective there, and so this is a K3W. I do have, so let's see, this K6 is a K6W as well. It's got the wide view. I do like those K6s. They're very, very accurate, and they're a nice gun for shooting a 22 at like 50 yards. Just super crisp and accurate. This one here is another K6, but this is a standard objective, just so you can see the difference. It's round instead of that oval shape. It gives you that wider view. Let's see, what's this one? This one is a K8. So this one is a K8, and it does have a adjustable objective bell on the end. That one is quite nice. It's very very nice scope. I do have mounted on guns. I do have a K10, and I have a K12 that also has the adjustable objective. Those are very nice. So even some of these less expensive ones, this one is, get the focus. So this one is called a monoscope, but it is a very, very clear glass. It's made in Japan. So in the 60s and 70s, the Japanese really got into making scopes, and their quality of their glass was almost second to none. I mean, especially for a scope that costs less than $100. You know, you really have a hard time finding anything better than that for the value. So this one's a K2.5. So here's a K3 and a K2.5 side by side. If you find one of these K3s and you can get it for a reasonable price, they're pretty rare. And if you can grab hold of it for they make a great gun for, especially if you're doing some like tree shooting with squirrels with a 22, because they point quick, and you're right on target. But like I said, this is just kind of my overflow right now that I have. Actually, do have this one here is pretty cool. Still in the original Mossberg box. The box has seen better days, but it's pretty cool. It's a another one of those externally adjusted model Mossberg scopes, and this is a number 9 mount, where the other one was a number 6 mount. It's a little bit different. It doesn't have adjustment for to adjust the height of your scope on the gun like the number 6 does. The number 6 is very neat that way, that you can adjust the height of the scope to fit your needs as far as your cheek weld and stuff. So, but I thought you guys would really find this interesting. It's going to take a little bit more work, but I have, like I said, some of they call them target model scopes, inertals. I have several inertals, Feckers, Litscherts, and what else do I have? I have Bosch and Lam, Redfield, and that reminded me that I forgot to mention this one. This one's a little bit unusual. This is an old K4, just a standard K4, but what happens with these is this is a Litschert's magnifier that goes on the front, and it does two things. It turns your K4 into, I think, about an 8 power scope, maybe 10 power, but it also gives you an adjustable objective up here in the front, so you can focus a little bit better at different lengths. So those are pretty cool, and they were available for various types of manufacturers of scopes, and I wanted to show you guys that too. So basically the way that those install is on the normal K4, you got this little ring here, and you just unscrew that, and that whole lens piece comes out, and then the Litschert's piece screws in place of it and takes the place of that first front end lens there. So pretty cool, and another highly collectible scope there. So all right, well, it looks like I made this one longer than I really wanted to already, so I hope you guys enjoyed seeing some of my scopes. And if you have any questions or thoughts about other ones, because like I said, I have more scopes mounted on rifles than I do not mounted on rifles, so I probably have one that you have a question on and could help you out with answering a question on it. So hope you liked the video. Like, share, and subscribe. Channel's growing awesome, getting real close to 1,000, and I'm really happy about that. Something I've been shooting for quite a while. I really look forward to getting to that level, and hope to keep bringing you some great content. And other than that, hopefully the rain stops. Maybe I'll get lucky and the rain will stop later, and I'll get out and get an actual shooting video done. But for now, we'll see you on the next one. Have a great day.